Yeah, so here it is. Højlund gets replaced by Sesko. Is
Yep,
if my
absolutely. I
understanding is
mean,
correct.
that's
Yeah,
a given, of course.
that's a given thing. So, who are your number tens? Is this the formation first of all? Is this the formation that
Th-
you're going to go to, or
this
is
is
it
going to be
something
the
else?
formation, and this formation will switch between, if I'm talking tactically, right, based on what Amram's history has been. He's
Yeah.
also like in position. Sometimes he goes with like a two striker in position, right? Sometimes like a
Mm-hmm.
3-4, the like a 3-4 1-2.
3-4-1-2,
Sometimes
three
three
four
four
one
one
two
two as
like
well.
that,
Right.
something like that.
Sometimes he shifts like that, but it
Yeah.
depends on the different game situations as well. But
Yeah.
I would like to keep it 3-4-2-1 as of now as a standard formation
Yeah.
currently based on how he starts his lineup. So let's start with this, and then we'll see what different formations he might actually. So for our tens,
Yeah.
it's a clear winner like in Mbumo and Cunha. They are going to be our tens. It's a no-brainer. I think they are proven players in those positions. Mbumo already has had an impressive preseason, so I think I'll put both of them in the tens and the in both the tens basically. Exactly, Cunha and
So
Mbumo.
you're saying that with the likes of Amad Diallo,
Hmm.
he's gonna have to wait. He'll be much more of a rotational player than what
No,
they.
this is where the preseason already has told us that Ahmad is going to play right wing back, and he has played like Amarim has used Quenda in that role before as well.
Wow. Yeah.
So Ahmad is gonna be, and that has been the preseason story. So Ahmad, as much I would like him to be the second fiddle to Mbumo in terms of the options that we need in the squad, but Ahmad is gonna play the right wing back as of now. And
Wow.
I've done so I've
Mm.
done some analysis in the past as well on this to say that their heat maps are very complementary in that way. So both can actually complement each other, one making overlaps, one is cutting in, one is again
Yeah.
cutting in, the other overlaps as well. So that combination will work on the right hand side. I think this will be
Hmm.
the right wing back. Right side is sorted
You
at
know,
least.
Ashish, before we go to the next point, I think so very interesting point that you made as well, because
Right.
Mbuemo, what we've seen with Brentford is he always has the natural tendency to go into the extreme right.
Yep.
That's what I've seen, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if he goes to the extreme right, there is always a chance that Amad Diallo cuts
Right.
in and inverts, right, as the secondary number 10 option,
This can
and
happen
then
as well.
these three,
Yes.
yeah, these three can have a brilliant combination, and probably, of course, if this doesn't happen, then you
Right.
can have the likes of Cunha switch in here as well, and then probably you can have the likes of Bruno Fernandes hover into this position to arrive late in the box and try to do
Yes.
something. So
Absolutely.
there is multiple possibility, and I think so. This makes sense in terms of your attacking capability.
Right.
But my question would be, I mean, concern would be, if I was a Man United fan, is
Mm.
Amad Diallo well
Mm.
equipped enough for the defensive duties that one has to do
Correct.
while playing the right wing back position? So that's quite something that we'll have to see. So Ajiba, left wing back, is it Dorgu, or
Patrick
who are we
Dorgo
looking at?
nailed on. Patrick Dorgo nailed on. Patrick Dorgo is nailed on.
Yeah,
Bought for that reason. Player bought for that exact player profile, bursting pace, brute force, strength, and even having a very mixed last season, the
yeah.
preseason was very good by Dorgo. So he's nailed on. I think now fans have started appreciating him. Dorgo is going to be our left wing back right now.
And who are the options if it's not Dorgu, or should you
Right.
need to have a rotation player after Dorgu? Who's it going to be?
So it depends, right? Now we have to understand that maybe Luke Shaw might have played that role had he been the fit player that we know that back in the past, but he's not that anymore. So it's going to
Right.
be the backup is going to be Diogo Leon. I think Amorim has already trusted Diogo Leon in that position already in terms of the um, like from a substitute standpoint. But
Yeah.
sometimes maybe we might see Diogo Dallo there fitting in certain
Yeah.
games when required, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Diogo Dallo in this whole squad will be a kind of a floater where he might fill in at right wing back, where he might fill in at left wing back sometimes.
Correct.
But that's the
Hmm.
option we have. But the real options, the straightforward options would be from a player profile standpoint are Dorgu and Leon for this season. Diogo Leon.
Right. Next, let's come to the double six. We have Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. Is this a fixed one, or are we looking at something else?
Mm, yeah. So this is where I mean we talked about the links that we have right now with Baliba right now.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
so let's stay with this squad. I won't assume that we're gonna sign Baliba. So if we are only let's assume that we don't sign a central defensive midfielder this season. I think
Yeah.
I think it will be most likely a Bruno and an Ugarte pivot, but
Right?
it depends on Amorim whether Amorim trusts Ugarte this season or enough, because
Yeah.
Ugate's performance in the preseason has been a mixed bag of sorts, right? Has
Mm.
made a lot of errors. So this will be my choice in terms of the pivot as of now.
Yeah.
I wish Casemiro had the legs to
Yeah.
actually track back. Had that been the case, that he was fine, he was that a little bit more athletic, I would have played a
Yeah.
Fernandez and a Casemiro there just in terms of the experience and what they bring, like in terms of the IQ. But this is the
Correct.
pivot that we're gonna be having, considering we don't sign Baliba. If we sign Baliba, I see Baliba and Fernandez starting in that pivot, from Fernandez moving to the right pivot, or we
Yeah.
on in certain games we'll see Baliba and Ugarte, or a Baliba and a Casemiro. So it all depends. It's very crucial right now, Ishan, that we sign a midfielder right now, because in my
Mm.
opinion, we'll see better numbers from Bruno in the 10,
Right.
in the 10 roles, right? That's
Correct.
my dream of what I want Man United to look at, but this is what it is.
100%. Nick, let's talk about this double six position a bit more,
Right.
because I
Absolutely.
being a Chelsea fan, and Chelsea having this double six position played so well over the
Right.
past years, right? Since Antonio Conte times, you would see, with
Right.
the likes of Nemanja Matic and N'Golo Kante, and then
Right.
slowly transitioning into Kante, Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, right? And then of course we had some other brilliant double six pairings as well, with the likes of John Newby, Michael Essien, going back into the days, right?
Right.
So there are certain qualities that these double six should possess, which complements each other. Not just that, not just defensively, but a bit more offensively plus creatively as well,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, I think so. If you go by this setup, it's so important to make sure that both of these guys, whoever you choose to go forward with, if it's
Mm.
Bruno Fernandes and Baliba, if you guys sign him, or maybe if it's Fernandes and Ugarte, or maybe Casemiro, these
Mm.
guys should complement each other to something else. Do you know what I mean? Because this is going to be the most important crux of your team. 'Cause if
Absolutely.
this goes weak, the entire team is gonna
We are done.
perish.
We are
'Cause
done.
yeah, so
We'll
I
perish.
mean that's what I'm saying. I think so. If you go to the market, maybe you'll have to, and somewhere down the line, look, I'll be very honest with you. With this
Right.
setup, I think so. It complements very well with the likes of Sesko, Konya, Mbuemo, right? With the likes of Dorgu, Amad Ugarte, and whatever
Right.
Amorim is trying to achieve. Somewhere down the line, I just have that gut feeling that, is it diminishing the powers of Bruno Fernandes a
Absolutely.
bit more? Right. So if
Absolutely.
that's the case, probably Bruno Fernandes becomes slash optional or rotational to Cunha or Mbuemo, because I don't see Bruno Fernandes playing a double six, to be very honest.
Right. Right. We kind of stuck in this situation right now. If you see from a like player wish standpoint, that yes, I want Bruno in the squad, because right now the squad is not ready without Bruno for that transition to happen, right? Like with
Yeah,
with so many rumors from the last 2 years that Bruno might leave, he stays. Bruno might leave, he stays again. It's
yeah,
it's a situation from a footballing tactical POV is, I'm looking at this in this way, right? I don't want even the likes of Cunha and Embomo to start every game as well, right?
yeah,
You know what I think? I think in some games, considering some of the fitness history I have studied on these players, right? Embomo
yeah.
is a much fitter player, so he might actually be starting most of the games, right? But we'll see a
Hmm.
rotation between Cunha, Fernandez, and Mount in that L10 position, and even to a certain extent Xerxes, because we have to
Yeah,
understand that after from between December to a January period, there's AFCON coming up.
correct, correct.
So
Yes.
Mbumo and Ahmad and Mazraoui, both three of them will be unavailable. So in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
situation, right, if Mbumo is not there, we might actually see Fernandez in that R10, right? And
yeah,
and on an L10, we might see Mason Mount joining there alongside Sesko, right?
correct.
Right, and in that pivot, then again, I'm assuming that we have not signed Balibas. I'm manifesting still. But if let's say we haven't signed Baliba yet, we'll actually
Yeah,
see Manu and Casemiro working together in some ways, or even a Manu Ugarte pivot there. right?
Yeah, Manu is also there. Oh my days.
Kobe
Seems like
Manu,
you
we are
guys are
forgetting him.
stacked, man.
Yes,
Kobe,
yes.
I completely forgot about Kobe Manu. He's an
Kobe,
exciting player. You guys cannot have a season, I mean, a match without featuring him at all. He's very exciting, man.
yep,
Where do you
absolutely.
play him?
Yeah, so this is where we have to understand, right? Maybe he was misprofiled a bit more. Like he has more attacking flair than his defensive flares. But right now, I think with the physicality that Manu is bulking up right now in terms of he's worked on his physicality a lot this season, right?
Yeah,
In training preseason, I think we see him at that in that pivot role alongside Ugarte,
yeah.
right? And I think so. This is a December January lineup we're talking about, where AFCON we won't have players available.
Let's come to the centre back situation,
Right.
Ashish. Is what changes do you have? I mean,
Of course.
talk to me.
Right. So Lindelof already left the squad, left the club already. So Lindelof
Yeah,
is done. We saved a lot of wages with him. 120K wages per week is
yeah,
saved by Lindelof, and he's had a he's had a decent stint at the club. It will be Lenny Yoro. It's Lenny Yoro and Patrick Dorgu. I tweeted this about this as well. They have been the best players in the preseason. Lenny Yoro is going to be
yeah,
our right centre back, nailed on. In the centre back, I see Matthias De Ligt starting games more
yeah.
than Maguire, even if Maguire had a fantastic redemption arc, in my opinion, right, in terms
Yeah.
of how he has improved his game based and Maguire understood his limitations as a footballer and worked on it
Correct.
and actually
Hmm.
trying to like use his brain more rather than trying to do what Van Dijk was supposed to do, right? Wanting to
Yeah.
track back a lot now. So Dillit is starting at
Hmm.
center back because of his experience and leadership and the quality he brings as well. But I'm worried about Dillit's injury concern, so Maguire will be
Yeah.
picked up. Right, left center back right now. This will be interesting. Now we have three options in
Right.
the squad. Like let's. I won't include Fredrickson at this point because he needs to be loaned out.
Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez is gonna start when he's back from injury, right?
Right.
And Aiden Heaven has grown really, really well in this squad. I'm really
Right.
happy with his growth.
Yeah.
Fantastic head on his shoulders, but Lisandro Martinez is gonna start for Man United.
And is there any other option apart from these two? Because you said
Luke
there
Shaw,
are three options. So
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw. Right.
Luke Shaw has already played the left centre back in this preseason already because he lacks that fitness and pace already. I don't see him playing in the wing back. So, but this,
Yeah.
if you want a starting lineup, this will be our ideal three centre backs currently. But I
Yeah.
have a different opinion on Lisandro Martinez, but that's for another day. But right now, Lisandro Martinez starts in this lineup.
100%. And of course, your goalkeeper. Not even a question here, but it should be the biggest question.
Right.
Thankfully, I'm not a Man United fan when it comes to your goalkeeping, and
Goodness.
the lesser known knowing the fact that our goalkeeper situation is also not very good, but
Right.
Sanchez is trying his level best. So let's see what happens. Both our teams are probably in the same boat when it comes
Right.
to the goalkeeper situation. But yeah, talking a bit more on tactics, Ashbay.
Right.
So
Right.
you're saying that this is probably going to be more of your off the ball situation, right? When you have the likes of a setup like this,
Setup
when
like
when
this.
you
Exactly.
when you're
So
going to have these attackers a bit more, I mean these defenders a bit more compact,
right. Right.
and
Right.
these guys are gonna drop deep, and probably you're gonna find Mbuemo and Cunha more on the sides, and then
Right.
probably Sesko
Set-
might be hovering around right there.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about the on the ball situation where probably you might have the likes of Sesko bombing up and
Right.
Mbuemo more on top here,
Right.
right? Cunha more will be lurking around this L10 slash the second
Right.
striker position here,
Right.
right? And you might have to have the likes of Bruno Fernandes bomb up, because there is no way I cannot see Bruno Fernandes be a regista or a defensive midfielder
Right.
for the majority of the games, because his power is here. That's what I
Right.
believe. What
Right.
with whatever gun power he has, it's here. That this
Right.
is his position. Ugarte might be in the center, and then we might see the likes of Ahmad or maybe a Dogu bomb up. Now, my
Right.
question to you, Ashbhai, is
Right.
who do you see is of a more attacking player, or probably who's going to invert more or
Mhm.
overlap more comparatively to Dorgu and Ahmad?
So we have to understand from a formation perspective that how this and this is where you're absolutely spot on, right? So some formations that uh, Amarim has played in the in possession setup is like a 3-3-2-2, 28% of the time. That
Yeah.
right. So 3-3-2-2 exactly. So in this situation, right? So we'll have a three in the back, right, and that Ugarte in the center, and then you have Bruno Fernandes and Cunha there, and then exactly there you go. Because of the pace that Sesko and Mbumo actually have. I'll give you some stats again. Sesko average speed is 35.6 kilometer per hour, and
Wow.
Mbumo fastest speed is 36 kilometer. They were the fastest players in their respective leagues as well. So
Yeah.
this is the in possession formation we usually see. Amarim did in Sporting last season, right?
Right.
And which is where Cunha has an ability to make drifting runs. Cunha has
Yeah.
an ability to drop deep sometimes to help with the overloads, and this is where Ugarte will be pivotal there in covering ground, and Dorgu really, and this is where if Fernandez sometimes drop deep, we'll have Dorgu darting in there, and if sometimes like Cunha and Fernandez gonna switch roles a bit more. Cunha will be on the left sometimes. Fernandez will be on the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
side.
100%. He'll be more of a floater. Yeah.
These guys are more of a floater, and these guys will be responsible for pinging those balls back to the right wing back, and this is where the two center backs, right, LCBs and RCBs, are so vital in supporting Ugarte higher up the pitch, right?
Yeah.
Right here in this situation, they come here and they try to form that triangle with the likes of Ahmad, Ugarte, and the tens coming in. You can form triangles there, and this is where the whole setup becomes much more what I've studied on this is more of a like an artificial counter-attack situation where they keep on passing between each other, draw the
Yeah.
players in, right, and then do a turn and a ping pass to create that space for your tens and the wingbacks to run, like,
Right.
so that's what tactically Amarim does. So we might see this coming up this season, and obviously in transition, Sesko and Mbumo are going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Also, adding on, I think so. Cunha is going to be a trump card for you on the ball. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because look, Bruno Fernandes, we know he has certain mixed responsibilities which he might not be very comfortable with when it comes
Right,
to the double pivot, right? Because
right,
we know the fact that he's not the
right,
best of the option when it comes to defensive duties as a double pivot player.
right, right,
So he might have his duties more offensively rather than defensively when I'm
right,
talking on the ball.
right,
This makes Cunha, just like you iterated, right? This makes Cunha a floater. He
right,
can probably move on the left. He can overlap here, go here, right? So if Dorgu is overlapping and probably Bruno Fernandes is a bit more on the left, he might go on the right to SS Diallo and
right,
create get hold of the spaces here on the right hand side.
right, right,
And
right,
then of
right.
course, with regards to the counter transition, if
Mhm.
required, Cunha can drop back deep to SS Ugarte, and of course you have Bruno
They have
Fernandes
to.
floating around as well. So
They have to.
and provided the fact that if Dorgu bombs up,
Hmm.
it is a very known fact that Ahmad has to stay back,
Right. It's
right?
gonna
Because
depend like how the switch of play happens, right? If the play is happening on the left, most probably Ahmad might just drop back to help in the defensive track back off during a counter attack situation if we lose the ball in in the box or outside the box. Fair enough.